Apple is finally implementing a brand new battery cell technology on all of the iPhone 15 models that are launching in less than 2 months, which is extremely exciting because I did some research and I found 5 big benefits that you will experience later this year if you decide to upgrade. Now, the leak comes from RG Cloud S on Twitter, claiming that Apple is using a new stacked battery tech on the entire iPhone 15 lineup. Now, while we don't know how reliable of a source this guy is, his leak actually matches up perfectly to a bunch of other reputable leaks, which I'll show you in this video. So let's get into the first benefit, which is huge battery life gains. With this new stacked battery cell technology, Apple will be able to fit more battery within the same package. In this diagram, you can see how the previous battery tech led to these areas on the edges where there is empty space that isn't being fully utilized for the battery's juice. But with the new stack cell tech, it's able to be folded over more closely to the edges, which can greatly increase usable battery size, ending up with more milliamp hours in the same battery package. And this actually matches up perfectly to a recent leak about battery sizes getting much bigger across the iPhone 15 lineup, from around 12% all the way up to 18% larger than the iPhone 14 models. Now, at first, it didn't really make sense how, because the dimensions of the 15 lineup were leaked and they weren't much thicker in size compared to the 14, but now this new battery tech leak makes perfect sense and explains how the battery could get that much larger in terms of milliamp hours without increasing the size of the phone by that much. So in the end, we'll all be benefiting from huge battery life gains with the new iPhone 15 lineup without the phones being much bigger at all. And now let's get into benefit number 2, which is faster charging speed. For years, Apple has had a problem with their batteries heating up too much while charging, especially wireless charging. That's probably a reason why Apple has been limiting their MagSafe charging speed to just 15 watts on their official MagSafe chargers. And even with the speed being that slow, it actually does heat up quite a bit, especially while using your phone, like when watching videos. For example, we just tested a MagSafe charger that has a cooling fan built into it from ESR, and it actually improved the charging speed just because of that fan being on. And apparently, Apple Insider says that the new layered battery construction works as a multi-pole battery rather than a single pole, allowing there to be less resistance in the battery itself, leading to less heat. And on top of that, we recently had another leak pointing to Apple increasing the MagSafe charging speed to 20 watts on the iPhone 15 lineup, and now it makes perfect sense why. Because the new stacked batteries don't heat up as much. And even better, the guy who leaked the stacked battery tech also agreed, saying that 20 watts of MagSafe charging is coming to the iPhone 15 lineup with a new protocol and power chip, but he wasn't sure if it was going to be the iPhone 15 or 16 lineup, hopefully this year. And then in another leak, there was a claim that Apple would be allowing regular Qi 2 standard charging to wirelessly charge at up to 15 watts compared to the current limit of 7.5, which is honestly really annoying because it makes you not want to use third-party chargers. So that new leak is another bit of proof that Apple is solving their battery heat issue, allowing for faster charging. And then another thing the new leaker also said is that we would be getting an upgrade to 40-watt wired charging, which makes perfect sense because of the new batteries that don't get as hot, as well as the switch to USB-C, which can support more power than Lightning. And then this actually brings us into benefit number 3, which is battery health. But first, I've got to give a shout out to our partner Casekoo, who makes awesome cases like their Cloud Cush case, which has air cushion technology built into the frame, so it's very drop resistant while also being incredibly comfortable to hold thanks to its silky smooth rounded finish. And right now, they're doing an iPad giveaway running up until August 8th, giving away an iPad to one of the first 100 people that enter, and a second iPad iPad if 200 people enter, so use the links down below to check out their cases and enter the iPad giveaway today. Now, I'm sure you know that out of all the smartphone companies out there, Apple cares the most about battery health, even turning on a default setting called optimized charging, which is only there to help with battery degradation by charging more slowly so that your battery stays cool. Well, apparently, the new stacked battery tech is able to disperse the heat evenly across the battery cell compared to having hot spots where the heat was more focused on certain areas with previous battery cells, leading to less overall heat, which would previously trigger the iPhone to slow down the charging wattage. But now, with the heat being more evenly dispersed, it should allow Apple to charge faster while still hitting their goals for battery health, or potentially leading to even better battery longevity in general. Currently, Apple has a problem with some of their users still refusing to use wireless charging because they believe it degrades their battery too fast. Well, this new solution will probably help change the narrative and get more people switching over to MagSafe wireless charging. And if you think about it, Apple's probably gonna ditch the physical charging port and switch to 100% wireless charging only in the near future, and this new battery tech is likely required to make that feasible. Now, moving on to benefit number 4, we have the addition of a brand new awesome feature that hasn't really been used much: reverse wireless charging. What I mean by that is attaching a product to the back of the iPhone and having your iPhone charge that device using its own battery and wireless charging coil. Well, believe it or not, but every iPhone since the iPhone 12 included the necessary hardware for reverse wireless charging to work, but Apple has just kept it inactive, at least until the MagSafe battery pack came out, which actually allows you to plug in a cable to charge your iPhone, with your iPhone automatically sending power to the battery pack. But of course, it's been extremely limited and very slow, and we'd love to see the iPhone be able to charge, let's say, another iPhone, or better yet, your AirPods from the back of the iPhone, especially now that we know the AirPods have MagSafe charging support. Rumors for the full activation of the new reverse wireless charging feature have been non-stop, with people expecting the iPhone 13 lineup to have it, and then the 14 lineup, but no, nothing yet. However, 9to5Mac recently heard from sources that Apple is working on unique wireless power out firmware, including developing a special user interface for reverse wireless charging with on-screen animations and sound effects. And the biggest thing holding Apple back has been the issue of heat dissipation and charging efficiency. And thankfully, the new stacked battery tech is likely the final piece of the puzzle before Apple finally launches reverse wireless charging, so I'm super excited for this. And finally, for benefit number 5, we have safety, which is actually a huge deal in light of all of the Samsung Galaxy battery explosion drama that's been going on for years. And if you didn't know why that happened, here's a quick explanation. With the previous traditional battery tech, it would tend to swell and contract in inconsistent patterns based on heat, which would deform the battery, so phone manufacturers would need to leave a space gap around the battery to allow it ample space to swell without pushing up against the internals. Well, with how competitive the phone space has been, companies like Samsung have been pushing their batteries and charging speeds to the absolute limits to stay competitive, which caused problems with batteries ending up exploding. And on the other hand, Apple has always been very careful with extra space gaps and slow charging to make sure that doesn't happen. But thankfully, this new stacked battery tech has a more stable internal structure where the expansion force of each layer is more similar instead of being inconsistent and wavy. So the interface can be kept flat, therefore not requiring as much of a space gap around the battery, which means it can be larger while still being even more safe. And to wrap all of that together, a company named Enovix just announced the general availability of its new battery cell, which uses precise laser cut electrodes that are stacked with accurate alignment, which sounds exactly what I've been talking about in this video. So all in all, this new stacked battery cell technology, which is coming to the entire iPhone 15 lineup, will be a huge advancement for Apple, especially since it'll allow for those 5 benefits that I talked about. So if you enjoyed this video, you can go ahead and comment your thoughts down below and click the circle above to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.